Alright, here is the engine from the Nova. Now check this out. Since I'm doing resto mod, I decided to make a engine plate. And I will be adding, of course, a water pump to the front. But, boy, I'll tell you what, this is the .010 styrene from Evergreen. Now look at that, see, look at it. It filled those holes in perfectly, that body putty. But all that chrome, come on, seriously? Nobody has polished chrome runners. Now what I'm showing right there is that it's a little bit flat on that one side. So I'll be doing a little bit more sanding. There's a seam right there that needs to once again be a little more filled in. But that chrome is just, gosh, really terrible looking. Okay, got all my tools here, and I've taken one of the little, nail files, and I've trimmed it so I can get myself a really nice thin stick like this, and I'm going to start cleaning up the edges of the upper part of the intake. So, of course, this is all sand, so time to speed her up. It was right about here I realized that the top of the plenum had fallen off. So, gotta sand it down a little bit more. Actually, like I said, you can see right there, I'm using a file, getting it flatter, and I am going to add some more of the Tamiya adhesive. Okay, Tamiya putty time. Now, look here. Check it out. You can barely see it because I don't know why. My camera doesn't do good close-up. But there's a seam right there. And then the back part right there on that tail shaft is literally flat. Now, look at this here, what I'm going to be using. You see that orange part there underneath my hand? Okay, what that is, I cut that little bit of an edge off of a Bondo spreader, for regular everyday body putty. And making it that narrow, it will take and it'll get down in there, and you're not using the whole thing. But, and I'm sorry, once again, my really poor camera skills, but I'm trying. They are getting better. But yeah, I'm doing that. I'm getting down there into where the bell housing is, and then I'm going to add a little bit more onto that tail shaft. ammo here, you're going to see a second here, has to get up in the middle of everything. Oh, he gets irritating sometimes. I love him, but irritating. Look at the way his doofus gets down, too. Okay, putty is now all nice, thoroughly dry. But I gave it a good solid, I think it was about 5 or 6 hours to make sure everything was solid. And I'm using the wider part of that nail board I cut off to get the larger, flat areas. And then I will be using the smaller one to get down into like where the transmission meets the bell housing, where I add a little bit of the extra putty to it. And you'll see that in a second here. And of course, it's better up. I can't stand watching when other people, all they do is sand, so I'm betting I'm not the only one. What I was just doing right there is final sanding on top of the runners for the plenum. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add a little bit more Tamiya, adhesive to it, fast dry stuff. And going to mount it back up onto it. I have to do it a couple of times because, of course, it's not going to set right. And it won't hold right. But once I get enough on there and get it set in place, it comes out absolutely perfect. Alrighty, here we go now. This is the 10%. I want it just a little bit thicker that I'm going to be using here. This is a Viejo primer. Using the leveling thinner with it. And get in here, about enough to go ahead and start working with it. And I'm going to go ahead real quick here now and set it up. And boy, it really starts to work great. For about 30 seconds or so. Yeah, you'll see. It was right at this point that I realized that something was amiss. Couldn't figure it out. I'd taken the gun apart, cleaned it. Taken it apart, cleaned it. I ended up soaking it in acetone. I used special brushes. Everything. And this using right now is like the third time that I've done it. And it's just irritating. I want to thank everybody for watching. Please like, please share, please subscribe, and please ring that notification bell.